A new entry into the world of Predator is here. Let's talk about Predator, Killer of Killers, available now on Hulu and Disney Plus. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Predator, Killer of Killers. This is a new animated film from 2025 with a runtime of an hour and 30 minutes. This is rated R, and as of the recording of this video, we have a Rotten Tomato score of 97% from the critics, 89% from the audiences, and a letterbox average rating of 3.6. I do wonder how much of this how much of the high scores are due to the fact that you could just watch this at home in the comfort of your home without having to go seek it out at the theater. I feel like the experience, and I love going to the movies, I love going to the theater, but that definitely raises the bar for what I'm expecting from a film, right? If I'm taking the time to travel to the theater and go to I do definitely expect to be treated well as a guest at the theater. But this movie, I think, would have been fantastic in the theater as well. I love animation. I think the style for this animation takes a second for me to kind of get used to. It almost feels like the frames are slowed down a little bit more. It's an interesting thing, especially in the first story. Let's talk about some of the creative teams. I'll talk about the structure of the film, and then we'll get more into some of my thoughts on the film. So this is, of course, directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who directed Prey, the previous entry in the Predator franchise, and is also working into and in the into the Badland or Predator Badlands, I believe it's called, and also Joshua Wasung for visual effects lead. He's also worked with Dan Trachtenberg on some of those other films. Story by Dan Trachtenberg and a screenplay by Micho Robert Rutare. Uh, I was very excited for this when I heard we were going to get a surprise Predator film this year and it was going to be animated. I was very, very much on board. So let's talk about the cast a little bit. We have Lindsay Lavanchi as the Viking Queen Ursa in the story The Shield. We have Luis Osawa as the main ninja in The Sword, and Rick Gonzalez as the World War II pilot in Bullet. We also have Michael being just as in a supporting role with some additional voices and alien work, kind of like, or I mean, Predator work. He's also worked on Aliens, which is why that came to mind. So, um, the structure of the film is very interesting because it feels like an anthology that kind of leads all into it's broken up into four sections. So we have the story of the Shield, which is kind of it happens in the ninth century where the Viking queen Ursa is seeking revenge whilst also mentoring her young son, only to be hunted down by this massive predator, perceived to be the Grendel from Norse mythology. So that was very cool. This we see three different predator. We see a lot of predators, but in the main stories, we see three different ones. They all look very, very different, which is cool. I love that we are we're kind of adding to the lore of what the predators look like the Joucha all kind of look a little bit different. Um, we also have the story of the sword, which happens in feudal Japan when a set of brothers, one of them becomes a samurai, the other leaves to become a ninja. And when they are finally confronted again after years of being apart, they have to work together to outwit the predator that is along with them. So this predator designed it's a little bit more sleek and probably better suited to fight ninja and samurai, really. And lastly, we have, as far as these standalone stories, we have the story of the Bullet, in which a daring pilot for the U.S., as they are fighting in the war, they are overtaken by this predator ship. Obviously, this happening during World War II. The technology that the predators that the Joucha have is gonna just really outdo anything that the World War II pilots can come up with. But in the final segment of this film, the trio actually comes together. So it seems like the predators are going back and capturing some of the people that uh, they've had a collisions with, and then they now take them back to their home world to put them in a high stakes gladiatorial battle. So that's a really fun premise. It very much reminds me of my favorite Predator film, Predators from 2010. I believe that was directed by Robert Rodriguez, and the premise of it, just really quickly, tangentially from this movie, is that predators bring all kinds of killers into their world to just kind of hunt them down. They have a yakuza, they have hired killers, they have mercenaries. So like, it's really, I really love that film. I think it's very fun. Um, so how does this movie measure up? I think it's great. It's a great entry. I believe I read it this almost as high as Prey, which I really enjoyed as well. Um, a lot of people are likening this to the Animatrix. I would say in like a high concept thing, yes, but I don't really see the full connection. I feel like the Animatrix were kind of these disconnected stories from the main thing, just expanding the world of the Matrix. Whereas this to me really feels very much ingrained in the main story of everything, right? And it's also like these are truly connected stories. We just don't really see that until later on. Um, it's got a really cool premise of like setting it in these like the concept of prey is just really expanded upon here, where we see like, oh, predators have been coming to earth to fight humans at very various locations in various different places in time. So it just makes sense that they would try to take on some of the best warriors and some of the strongest warriors. I think that it takes a lot of ingenuity to come up with these scenarios. I feel like they picked some great stuff. Going into this, I was afraid that I was not really going to enjoy the World War II segment, because I figured that was going to be a little bit more bored. Like, I love in Predator movies, I love the more hand to hand combat, because the Predators always have like technology and stuff that kind of lets them be. But I thought that I was going to be a little bit more disappointed with that segment, but it actually worked out really well. I think they really nailed it. They met my expectations, and that was really cool. So um these are all just really fun characters. The worlds feel very much lived in. Like I said, the animation took me a second to get used to, kind of like the frame rate, especially on the first story. I don't know if it was maybe done on purpose to kind of reflect the historical age of, or like each of them get a distinct style. But yeah, it was really really cool. I love this idea. And I think there's a lot of influences here that you can kind of pull from, but just expanding the world of the Predator feels like a very very cool. So there's a really neat Easter egg in the like kind of post credit scene. Like, it happens right after the credits drop. um so yeah, that's really cool. It's a really nice callback, and also maybe a setup for films in the future. I would love to keep going through this. I would actually love a follow-up to Predators, the 2010 film, where maybe they try that again and they just bring all, a bunch of new characters, kind of like these, that we've met throughout the franchise that have survived the Predators, and they kind of have them do this contest again. So I think that would be really really cool. It's a great concept. It's really fun that this just kind of came out of nowhere, and it was kind of a surprise for fans of the Predator franchise. After Prey came out, I did go back and watch all the films, and this one just ranks above the above some of the older ones. There's a there's one or two clunkers in this one, but I think overall it's really fun. I love what they're doing with the movies. I'm excited for the Badlands film. I'm excited because in the comics, the Predator is about to take on the Marvel Universe. The latest series is fighting Spider-Man, but then the upcoming series, the Predators will take on the actual Marvel Universe itself. So that's a lot of fun. So um, let's see. As far as anything else, I think this is this is time well spent. If you're a fan of Predator, or even if you're just looking for a cool action adventure, like something that's full of some gory kills and some really cool alien technology and some expanding of the lore, or even just a good animation film, like this is it for you. So make sure to check it out. Like I said, it's on Hulu and Disney Plus. If you have that combination of packages, whatever. Yeah, really fun stuff. 90 minutes well spent. So if you have seen this film, let me know which was your favorite segment, which one of the characters was your favorite, because they really introduced some really cool characters in this one. Like, Ursa is a badass. Let me know how you like the film overall down in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe. If you want a little bit more Predator or Alien content, check out the guys over at Crew Expendable, a podcast where they go deep into the world of Alien mainly, but they also touch on some of the Predator stuff. I'm sure they'll have a full review for this as well later on. Neil and Kenny working really, really hard to make that happen. So thank you for watching and take care. Bye bye.